Hello and welcome to the Chattercade podcast, where we break down and review movies, TV shows, occasionally talk video games, and occasionally do random topics that we're doing in a few days' time. I'm your host, Ranking Thomas Hughes. I'm joined by the lovely Hayden, aka Lickler. And today, well, all I can say is the hierarchy of power is about to change. Because today we're going to be covering Black Adam, a film that's literally just come out. We saw it a day ago. As of recording, as of release, this video is released a few days, and all I can say, because obviously, there's spoilers. We're gonna put spoilers there because
definitely.
I'm probably gonna get too into it and say something here. So spoilers as usual.
Spoiler.
Obviously, before this came out, obviously critics' score came out, and I think it's like 44% or something shit like that. Obviously, the audience score came out of release stage, which is, I think at the moment sits at like 89%, so it's double the critics. And honestly, I side with the audience and above, because all I can say is fuck critics. I mean, I don't know what film they were watching, because what film I watched, I mean, is fucking amazing.
God, yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's probably one of the best DC movies.
Yeah.
As of late, like I mean, DC. I mean, obviously we covered the movies last year on the old podcast. Obviously, we did from Man of Steel up till Birds of Prey was the last one we did.
Yeah.
Obviously, we didn't cover the Justice League. We did the Snyder cut version instead. But obviously, they all have their moments. Like, it starts off. I mean, obviously, people hate Batman vs Superman, but like for me, I felt it started off pretty strong up until Justice League, and it fucking went down the shitter.
Yeah.
And it obviously then they brought it back with a couple of movies, brought it back to a decent level. Obviously then Wonder Woman kind of put it back down to that level. And then they kind of basically, after that movie came out in 2021, which is January, I think it was New Year's Day, it came out, that shitty sequel, or mediocre sequel. Like, personally, because I think March was the first one after that, DC wise.
Yeah.
Since March 2021 till October 2022, DC have released 4 movies. Well, 5 technically, because it's animated one.
Oh yeah, true.
And honestly, I don't think they've missed the mark. Obviously, the weakest of the 5 is probably the animated one, the Super Pets. But it's still not that bad. It's actually a pretty entertaining kids film. Which also ironically starts The Rock as Crypto, and also Black Adam. Yeah, he plays the character in both movies. Of course, he would though. It's a character he's been wanting to play since like 2000 and fucking like, was it 7 or 8, something stupid like that. I can't remember. It was something like that when he got cast. But honestly, in terms of live action movies, then I think they've found their mark.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, we had Snyder's Justice League, which we spoke about heavily and was like so gushing over how good a movie it was. You've got, obviously, then you had the Suicide Squad straight after, which obviously we're not going to go into much detail because obviously we're going to cover that soon. Then we had the Batman. Again, not going to go into too much detail because we're going to cover that quite soon as well. And then we got Black Adam.
Yeah.
And honestly, all 4 movies feel different. Like, not one of them feels the exact same as the last. So you got Snyder's, like, artsy masterpiece. You then got James Gunn's comedic, over-the-top, brutal, like, action flick.
Yeah.
You then obviously had the more serious-toned, not funny, like, murder-type Batman movie, noir, mystery. And then you had this, like, action visual spectacle.
Yeah, this one...
So they all feel different. They're not, like, churning at the same movie over and over again. Like, they're actually doing something different each time, and I like that. I like that we're not just getting the same fucking movies. I like we're getting different universes. Like, we're getting an actual connected universe, obviously Suicide Squad and Black Adam, and then we've got its own universes. So obviously the Snyder cut is obviously its own sort of universe,
like a timeline to a timeline.
and obviously the Batman's its own world as well. So I like that we're getting all these different worlds. It's not just like a massive shared universe. It's different worlds, and they all feel different. And even like the ones that share the same world, Suicide Squad and Black Adam, don't feel the same type of movie. Like, because obviously it's different directors. Obviously, Suicide Squad was obviously James Gunn, and this one is I don't know how to pronounce the guy's name. I swear it's the same guy who did Jungle Cruise with The Rock last year. Black Adam. It is Jem Colette Serra, who directed The Shallows, which we covered last year. He's the same guy who did The Shallows. He's also the same director who did Orphan. The House at Wax reboot. A couple of Liam Neeson movies. And, of course, Jungle Cruise. Obviously, he's worked with The Rock back to back now. So, obviously, it's someone who, as of late, has been starting to do these big, more blockbusters rather than kind of like these just ones that kind of just slide by a bit. Like the Liam Neeson ones kind of just slide by. I mean, Unknown, I can't remember too much about it. That's how unknown it is. And then fucking Commuter was just basically non-stop but on a train. So it's someone who's obviously back to back has done these sort of big action visual type movies. Obviously this is a lot better than Jungle Cruise. I thought Jungle Cruise was good, but this is a lot better. Definitely. And obviously you got these two different styles of directing and visions, and I like that. I like that a lot. And this like as I say feels so much different to the Suicide Squad, but yet they're the same universe. But it still at the same time feels a bit like it as well. For the fact that obviously Amanda Waller getting in this the Justice Society rather than a Suicide Squad.
Basically, that's her like Justice League that she can control.
Like she can go to if needs be.
Yeah.
Obviously you also got your big sort of powerful villain. Obviously Starro for Suicide Squad, and this one was obviously I can't remember his fucking name. The devil.
Yeah,
Sabak, was it? Sabak?
Something like that.
So obviously you got that, and obviously so you got this makeshift team of different personalities thrown together to deal with obviously this. Well, not technically Sabak at first, but to deal with a threat,
which was of course Adam.
Yep. Obviously, just well, he's got a Jar Adam, was it, something like that?
Not that. Obviously,
because he's meant to be his son, but obviously it's not. It's obviously the dad, because the son died and passed the post to him and died. But I mean, it was kind of obvious for the fact that in the trailers it was like my son sacrificed himself. I'm just like, okay, if your son's Black Adam, and on top of that, the shot when it's clearly obviously the Rock is Black Adam in the past, and it's just like, but the Rock was clearly the dad, and he's just like, wow, it's just like the fact that so the Wizards of Sky gave him like, the ability to turn to his dad. Oh wow, you gave me superpowers, I can be whoever I want. Why do you make me look like my dad? So it was kind of obvious that there was going to be some sort of plot twist there. So I do like how they did it. Obviously, it was like he knew that he couldn't do what he needed his dad to do, so that's why he gave him the power to get the revenge he needed, like in a killer kind of way rather than a protector kind of way. And do like then obviously Kandar, the obviously city that this obviously movie is set in, obviously is then built on lies. It's built around him being this savior, but it's not. Like it is, he was the savior, but not this version of Adam. This version of Adam is the destroyer. So I do like that. Obviously, they look at him as like this godlike savior, but this version is not the godlike savior they were looking for. This is the godlike destroyer. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, it'd be like if in the Marvel universe they grew up like a lot of people, like could be a city where it's a lot like Doctor Doom in a way. Like that city, they see this strong figure as their protector,
I know you're about
their hero.
I can't think of his fucking city, Doctor Doom.
Latveria.
Latveria, that's it.
It's a lot like Latveria in a way.
It's got very Black Panther vibes.
Yes,
I mean, the Rock,
that as well.
The whole, their
Rock is very like
vibranium. Yeah.
I was thinking that as well. It's like there's little hints you can see from other things, but that could just be DC.
And so it's like vibranium, but at the same time it's like kryptonite because it damages him. So it's like the concept of it's a city like in the middle of sort of like kind of nowhere-ish, like in like a foreign like continent. But then at the top of that, it's got this raw metal, which obviously again, as I say, is very
incredibly
bright
rare,
braininess,
but
but
very like mystical and
it's very like kryptonite.
Mm.
So it's like kind of merging the kind of concepts into
yeah.
one sort of
It's like
situation,
one thing that's strong enough to at least hurt him.
which it does.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, you bring up Marvel.
Yeah.
Honest to God, to me, being really honest here,
Mm-hmm.
I think this is better than the last two Marvel movies that have come out. I prefer this to Doctor Strange,
Mm-hmm.
and I prefer this to Love and Thunder.
I
I like both.
Yeah.
I think Love and Thunder gets a lot of hate, which it doesn't deserve.
Yeah.
And I think that is better than Doctor Strange was. Because Doctor Strange, obviously, at times was a bit of a letdown to what it could have been.
Mm-hmm.
But I honestly think Black Adam is better than both.
I think the way to look at it is like, I loved Wanda specifically in Doctor Strange. There were things part of it that were like, Love and Thunder, I loved the whole Jane Foster stuff. And obviously the villain was amazing. But there were also some elements where like the jokes were a little bit too much sometimes. But I think this one, it nails the jokes perfectly. And it knows when not to do them as well. I like how like they used to do the whole idea of a bit like Drax in a way. He doesn't quite understand how to do sarcasm.
Is that sarcasm? Yes, just checking.
I mean, I think they handle the mix between the serious, dark tone with the
like Suicide Squad did.
Yeah, definitely.
Like the Suicide Squad did it. It mixed both perfectly.
I think for DC, it works best if they have the dark side of the DC.
They have a lot more dark.
Yeah. The perfect hint of humour. I don't need to be constantly
like Marvel. It doesn't need to be constant comedy. It just needs to be a little hint of it here, just to get the audience going.
You go for like you go for like the specific characters.
Yeah,
go, like,
in this one, it's Atom Smasher.
Yeah,
and the brother.
Mm-hmm.
The obviously the non-native paired brother. When he pulls up in his fucking van with his music blasting. What's the song he was playing again off the top of my head?
I don't know.
Oh, so he comes out with like that fucking metal pipe, doesn't he? He starts fucking bashing all those like the dead like demons, doesn't he?
Mm.
And while he's singing the song out loud, like he's so good. I mean, the bit when Dr. Fate's helping him, he's like, "How's it looking, Doc? I'm not that kind of doctor. Am I gonna die? No. Well, I've seen your future. You died to electricity, so stay away from it. But I'm an electrician."
And he comes over. There's no electricity here.
That's it. When he's fighting him, he's like, "There's no electricity here that can take me down." Like him and Atom Smasher. I mean that one scene when he's like, "I'm holding on your position. Hold on!" Explosion behind him. Oh god damn it!
I do like how they've done that. The idea of let's take inspiration from like Ant-Man.
That's what I mean. I like obviously that's the thing with this. A lot of these types of characters we have in the Marvel universe.
That's true.
So there's the case of now with them. There's a lot of pressure on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've already got these once. Are you going to do? How are you going to beat these characters?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Ant Smasher with the Ant-Man, but obviously he can't shrink.
Yeah, it's more just the growing.
Yeah, and he's obviously this young. He kind of obviously reminds me of Flash as well. The idea he has to eat a lot. Yeah, so he kind of reminds me of that as well. So obviously, his different take on Ant-Man, and he's decent. Yeah. Obviously, Doctor Fate, Doctor Strange.
Oh my god.
Again, it's the case of,
but
you've got Benedict.
They do more aged.
If you listen to interviews with Brosnan, he said that one reason he took this is because of coming back to Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
like he loved his performance as Doctor Strange, and he wanted to basically try and see how he can like improve upon that.
He's like Strange. He's like Fate. It's a bit like Strange we see in Infinity War, but with the more humour. He does seem like more like he's aged quite a lot. He's lived for such like 100 years. Yeah. It's like, well, I'm just going to make jokes of life now. Like,
and then on top of that, then obviously you got Black Adam, who's kind of like his Drax vibe, Thor vibe. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a lot. At least I said these characters. The only ones that haven't really got sort of Marvel real counterparts probably is Hawkman. Hawkman really. It's not really like because Angel's not really part of the Marvel universe yet.
So many Angel, yeah.
But the idea of a winged
Force sister.
There's not really like anyone like fully like Hawkman yet in the Marvel universe, so he's kind of got a good like
Falcon.
Head start. Well, actually a good true
Falcon.
True.
Yeah, but he's more like I think Hawkman is literally
Falcon's more militaristic though, obviously guns and everything. Whereas Hawkman's more
like
brute
force,
force,
but with wings. That's how I'd
That's
see
cool. I
him.
forgot about it.
Because
I love it. I forgot about Falcon. Yet with his stun Falcon and Winter Soldier,
Yeah.
I completely forgot about Falcon.
I think like, obviously he's like nth metal mace and stuff.
Yeah, instead of guns. Obviously, and you got Cyclone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there is one that's. Is there? Can you think of one on top of your head in the movies that is a
not in the movies?
That's what I mean. In the movies at the moment,
Yeah.
there's not really one that she's basically. There's already a counterpart elsewhere, is there really?
No.
So
she's more...
that's obviously she's probably the only one that has the advantage now.
And her power is visually stunning.
Visually and beautifully stunning. The colour mixing where she's cycloning. I mean, I love that. I love how she twists inside it and the colour grading. That is just like beautiful. That whole scene when they first attack Adam and she's like breaking all the metal pipes around, swarming them, and she throws them all at him. That is like so fucking visually stunning. I mean, this movie visually,
my God,
is a masterpiece visually.
Like,
Dr. Fate's powers look incredible.
It's very like mirror dimension, I'd say.
Yeah,
it's very like more illusionary and very like crystalline.
So I know when the trailers come out, obviously a lot of people were comparing some of the stuff he was doing to Doctor Strange, that some scenes in Infinity War and that. But I think it works in this heavily.
I think he's a lot more.
I think it's a scene when Doctor Strange makes multiple himself against Thanos. I think that's the comparison they're making with the whole Doctor Strange Fate making multiple.
Whereas that one, there was him creating loads of whips to hold Thanos down. Where this one, it was
they all hold him down.
Dogpiling.
I do like that. Like, they just dogpiled him, and they did it
as well.
They did it again later on as well, didn't they? With when he's fighting Sabak, obviously he dogpiles Sabak while obviously he's trying to contact Adam. So I do like that. Obviously you got Atom Smasher. I love the colour of the lighting when he's transforming. It's like in stages. It's not like one big transformation. It's like bleep, bleep, big.
Yeah.
And obviously got Hawkman. Obviously the wings and everything visually look fucking amazing. Obviously Adam's lightning powers look really cool.
Oh, definitely. Very. Obviously, because it's the same powers as Shazam.
Yeah.
But I like how they show the dark side of those powers, like how Shazam electric powers like zap zap zap. I'm charging your phones. Yeah. And this one, it's like literally burning.
Tell them the man in black sent him. Tell them the man in. Damn it!
Supposed to do it after, do it before you kill them.
You're not supposed to kill them. I didn't. I waited for you to get up there. I mean, The Rock was born to play Black Adam. I literally can't think of anyone else who would suit that role. Obviously, Batista probably maybe because it's that dumbness type of situation. Yeah, it's like just be Drax. So that could suit Black Adam. Again, he's got the muscle side to it, but I feel like The Rock, physically suits Black Adam. Yeah, no, Black Adam has like pointy ears and sometimes in the comics, but I feel like The Rock definitely. If you're gonna look at a movie version of Black Adam, you'd look at The Rock.
Yeah, he's a lot like Ryan Reynolds. The idea of like.
Someone who's been trying to get this, trying to get a movie to go for so long.
You can see the passion for it.
He's very passionate about it. I saw like a lot of pictures. Obviously, he went to it was like a normal like world premiere like screen at the cinema, and he turned up there. He was obviously doing some autographs, and obviously there was a kid dressed as Black Adam, and he signed the lightning on his chest. I saw that picture. I thought it was pretty cool because he was saying that he goes, "I love seeing people dress up as Black Adam." Because it's the character I've just wanted for so long. So, obviously, he's born to play it.
Yeah, it's like Henry Cavill and Geralt. Because of how much passion he's got for The Witcher. Because it's a game series he's been playing for
and the books, he's read the books.
He's read the books. And it's like, you can tell the passion they've got for the films.
Absolutely.
And these characters.
Hands down. And obviously, the other characters, obviously, Pierce fucking Brosnan. Whoever went... Let's cast Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate.
Genuinely perfect. He's got that sort of old man sarcastic,
I absolutely love him in
side
this.
to it. Dr. Fate itself.
So I love Pierce Brosnan as an actor. I've seen him in a lot of films.
Like Percy Jackson.
He did in the James Bond movies back in the day. What was that? Wasn't he in The World's End? With Simon Pegg. Wasn't he the teacher?
I think he was. Yeah.
He was the alien. Obviously, even though that film was not as good as the previous two, he was really good in it. And I think he was in Mars Attacks as well. He was a dog. Like he got his head cut off at one. Like the aliens put his head on the dog.
Oh,
like a little Chihuahua type dog.
Yeah.
So he was walking around. Like that was pretty funny.
I remember.
Like I love Pierce Brosnan. He's a really good actor, and to see him in like a big like superhero spectacle is great. And as Dr. Fate was perfect. Obviously as Oh, what's his human name? I fucking forgot his human name.
Oh, is it
I kept saying it earlier. I always say stuff and then afterwards I fucking forget it. His human name is... Oh, it just says Dr. Fate on fucking IMDb. Kent
Kent
Nelson. Because I was watching an interview. He was obviously talking to this woman. Obviously, he was on an interview with her. And obviously, he was talking about how passionate he is. Obviously, he was like, hey, it was great working with Dwayne. Because he kept referring to The Rock as just Dwayne Johnson. He's like, Dwayne Johnson this, Dwayne Johnson that. And it was like a really good, decent interview. Obviously, he explained, he was talking about obviously Doctor Strange, the idea of him wanting to basically see if he can try and
a good version of that.
top Cumberbatch. Obviously, I think Cumberbatch obviously is now Doctor Strange over the years, but I think this version of Doctor Fate is better than the Multiverse of Madness Doctor Strange. I think it's better than that. I think he's very close to the other versions we've had in Infinity War and obviously the original Doctor Strange. Yeah. I think it's very close. I think it's definitely nailing aspects.
I'd say specifically Infinity War, because that's when you see Doctor Strange be proper powerful. Yeah. The end game is just dedicated to holding back the water. There's no reason whatsoever.
We're all here. We're all here. Oh, I was going to hold the water. Right, Tony.
Go fucking die now.
And obviously, the first Doctor Strange is more just him getting used to the powers. Yeah. So Infinity War is when he's at full capacity. So he's definitely very close, if not level pegging with the Infinity take on Strange. Like, it is so fucking good, Brosnan is. I love the suit. I mean, I'm upset because it hasn't arrived yet. I wanted it for this review. Obviously, I've ordered the McFarlane Toys Doctor Fate figure, which obviously, because they're doing obviously the entire line, so you can get Black Adam with the hood on, Black Adam without the hood on. Atom Smasher, a big one. It's not small, it's a big one, so I think it's a bit like... That's McFarlane, I think. They're McFarlane Toys. Something I'll bring on for a new review coming down in the line. Obviously, it's a big version like that of Atom Smasher. Obviously, you can get Hawkman with the wings. And you can get Cyclone, but she's got like a little whirlwind under her legs. Cool. But I'm annoyed because it's not coloured. It's like see-through. Oh. So I was annoyed about that. I was looking at it, I was like...
Go ahead, paint it.
Yeah, true. If you have to get the right paints, wouldn't you?
I've got model paint.
It's not Monolo, is it? It's like, it'd be like a weird like more like a see-through plastic type thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but you can get like shading paints. Like mine are more shading ones.
You can probably spray paint it as well.
Yeah, probably.
If you can detach it from it, you can probably spray paint it.
Yeah, spray. But if you want to keep that see-throughness.
True. But yeah, obviously I'm annoyed because obviously it's not supposed to turn up until 3:30 onwards. Oh. That's very annoying. But yeah, obviously that's how much I like Doctor Fate in this. I went and brought the fucking figure.
He was fucking brilliant.
I went and brought the figure because I mean, design wise, he's really good. I mean, I love the quick changes, which is like quickly, like when he just drops down, helmet off, and he's back into Kent's form. Like that sort of quick change, and I like the idea of him just being able to just drift off. Like he's holding the helmet, he can just drift off into a slumber. Like
talking to him.
Even that's the scene with the butler, when the driver, when he's literally like he's like, oh, how long was I? It's like, oh, half an hour. So he's basically been sitting there for half an hour, just in a daze. That's when he's like, maybe next time honk the horn. Yes, sir. Like that was just like so good. And obviously, as I said, the suit design looks amazing. And I love the voice of the suit. The sort of extra layers on top of the vocals, which sound really fucking good.
Obviously, in Young Justice, when they had Dr. Fate, he was a pretty fucking cool character. The whole thing was like, whenever someone wears a helmet, it's their voice mixed with his. Yeah. And it's like...
I like the Dr. Fate as well from Injustice, the game.
Yeah.
Obviously, Injustice 2, I think Dr. Fate's in. Obviously, I remember playing as him quite a lot. I really like the character Dr. Fate. He's an interesting character. And obviously, it's a shame that this could be it. This is it for Brosnan, like, one night. The only thing is, I think in Young Justice, didn't they do an episode where you saw...
Yeah, he's inside the helmet.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that'll be the same. I'm guessing whoever gets the Fate helmet next...
We'll be talking to him as well.
We'll be talking to him, so that'll be the... I mean, they could also do prequels with him.
Yeah,
like set before this. I mean, I definitely want a Dr. Fate movie after this. I definitely want to see that. That would like be so good.
Oh, definitely.
Like, either Dr. Fate or a Justice Society.
Yeah.
Because, you know... We can't get Justice League at the moment. It makes sense, Justice Society.
We do see that Carter and obviously Kent have got a long history. So I want to see that history.
Because they're good old friends. I do love the little bromance there. It's like, it's just like he wants to protect Carter at all costs. And you also got the a bit of annoyance between Carter and Atom Smasher. Me and you,
me and you back on the ship.
Okay, sir. I do love that scene on the first time he does it.
Yeah.
Where he's like, "Hey man, I almost hit you." Uh-oh. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Fucking that's funny.
I do like they had the idea of making Atom Smasher a newbie.
Yeah, it's his
outing.
Well, do you know? Obviously, the one who plays Uncle Al. He's Al.
Yeah.
Do you know who that is? Fucking the Fonz.
Yeah.
I didn't realise. I was sitting there. I was like,
I knew.
I was like, that guy. That guy looks so. I mean, you're like, that guy looks familiar. I was just literally like, why does he look so familiar? And I googled it when I got home. I went, holy shit! It's the fucking Fonz from
I knew
Happy Days.
Big like
Henry Winkler.
Popular celebrity.
I was literally just like, why have I seen him before? And it's because he was a Fonz in Happy Days. And I was like, fucking hell, no wonder I fucking know him from somewhere. But yeah, obviously, it's a good idea making them noob. Obviously, Cyclone also a newbie, but a bit more experienced because she's smarter. Obviously, she's got the tech side. And there's a little bit of flirting between them. It's not like force. It's more like little cutie ones.
It just seems like just two people that are about the same age, just interacting, and there's a little bit of flirting in it.
Yeah, I loved many times he tries to protect her like, at all costs.
Yeah, he does.
Like the one at I think it's the last when Black Adam like fully electrocutes the bad guy. Like when he's human, the bad guy. Yeah. And obviously you got Hawkman throwing his wings behind the mom. You've got obviously Dr. Fate grabbing the kid and taking him into like you say like a mirror type dimension. Yeah. And then you got Atom Smasher. He puts his hands around Cyclone to cover it so he gets the blow. So I do like that. I do like obviously he's a pretty good character. I'll obviously say when he finally gets into his big form for the first time and he just fucking just poof straight to the ground on him. And he's like, yeah, it's cool. And then you see the light and he's like, guys, should I keep my hand? And he's like, don't you move your hand. And obviously then at that point he fucking gets up and just fucking knocks him out cold. I love her though. She instantly went to check on him and she's like, smells his bad breath and like, yep, he's still breathing. That was pretty cool. Obviously I feel like the Justice Society in general are really, it was just like how the Justice League were really well cast. Obviously apart from a dirtbag in it there.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that one.
Apparently they've already looking at someone new to replace him. English actor, I think he is. Apparently, he's a top choice for Warner Bros. To replace him.
Just get Grant Gustin in. Timelines. I
mean, the guy that would take over. I mean, he's a good actor. He did a war film, Benedict Cumberbatch, ironically. I think he's. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's like the top choice to replace that dirtbag. But yeah, obviously, it's again, I say well cast. Obviously, there's a lot of cameos in this movie which are great. Obviously, you got Amanda Waller, obviously from Suicide. You also got fucking what's her name in Suicide Squad? James Gunn's wife.
I can't remember.
The blonde one. The one who Peacemaker at one point was trying to bang. If she's Harcourt, that was it. Obviously, she's obviously running in that weird looking like Matrix SMN type gear, running the obviously prison. But yeah, obviously there's a lot of cameos, and then there's the big cameo
right at the end.
The return of Henry Cavill as Superman. It's just like wow,
a thing that The Rock has always wanted. Him and Henry Cavill.
Oh, that picture is of them together. He's just like, I've been wanting this, and obviously apparently it's not like it's like a one fight situation. It's gonna be like a few. I'm guessing like maybe they'll go 1-on-1, and then there'll be one with him and Shazam teaming up because there is like a short animated film where Shazam is. I think it's Shazam and Superman versus Black Adam. So I'm guessing Shazam 3 would probably maybe involve Black Adam finally deal with Shazam because it makes sense giving Shazam these two movies to build himself up, and then give him Black Adam, and maybe at that point Black Adam literally beat Shazam to nothing, and that's when Superman has to step in fully and give the help. Like that'd be like poetic and like the perfect way to have these two characters, you know, actually unite and not just like a cut off head scene at the end of the first Shazam movie. So I mean, this is the first time, not counting Justice League, the Snyder one, this is the first time since Justice League. Yeah. Josh Whedon one. There's a lot of people like to call it Justice League. It's the first time since then we've seen Henry Cavill as Superman. Every other time it's been like, I say, little cut-off cameos, like not even Henry Cavill, like stunt doubles. Even in Peacemaker, it was just like a stunt double, like a shadowy figure. This is the first time since 2017 we've had Henry Cavill officially in the main timeline as Superman. obviously you say we got him last year in Suicide Squad. I mean, Snyder's Justice League, but we've not had him properly in like the actual main universe since 2017. So it's great to have him back. And that last shot of him saying, "We need to talk." It's like that's how you end. I mean, the words from Waller's like he's like no one on this planet can defeat me. He's like she's like, well, I'm gonna make a call because this guy is not from this planet. And as soon as it cuts out, the instant poof, and the figure, and you're just like, it's just gonna be like just like a shadowy like figure, and that's it. It's still going to cut, but then you actually see him come out in like a slightly newer suit, and it's like Henry Cavill's back as Superman. Yes, because he's the perfect fucking Superman. Him and obviously Tyler Hoechlin are two top Supermen. Like they're really well cast. Obviously Hoechlин's got the TV universe nailed down. It was the family aspect, whereas Cavill's got the more brute force movie cinematic one nailed down. So perfect casting. So it's great to have him back. What else we got on there? Obviously, the villain is the one who plays Jafar. The one who plays Sabak is the one who plays Jafar in Aladdin. He's also in the Tom Cruise Mummy movie. He was like the right-hand man to Russell Crowe. Oh. He's also in that Netflix film, The Old Guard, of Charlize Theron. What we got? So obviously, one thing I read in a lot of reviews was obviously they said the action was repetitive. I don't think it was. No. I think each action scene was a lot different to the last. Like it was like there was nothing that was the exact same thing. Obviously, there was this constant fight between Carter and Black Adam. Yeah. But it was never the same sort of thing. Obviously, you had the first fight, which is this big out in the city sort of fight, and the second fight was more in the house. Obviously,
just them two.
Them destroying the other Justice League posters, and the Batman figure just going like them just destroying the bedroom. Like it was literally different settings and obviously different types of fights. Yeah. Obviously, they were more even early on. Obviously, in the house, obviously Adam had the advantage because obviously Hawkman relies on the wings a lot of times to deal with it, but you can't really do much. He's in a small parameter, whereas Adam just doesn't give a shit. So I don't think it was. I don't think the action at all was repetitive, and I enjoyed all the action sequences. I thought they're visually stunning. It felt very Michael Bay at times, the slow mo, but it worked.
It makes
sense. I honestly think it worked. I honestly think it did generally work. The slow, obviously, we had the huge slow mo of obviously when they're taking obviously the Justice Society attacking Adam the first time. You got this slow mo when Adam first comes out into the light, and obviously he's dealing with the helicopters, and you got the painted black playing in the background. I want painted black, and it just cuts out. You got the slow mo there as him going around. It's like fucking like just doing stuff to people. Obviously, he puts that bomb in that grenade in that guy's mouth, and that guy's like, "Oh no!" Like you got all that like those sort of slow mo, but I honestly think they really do work. So I'm happy that it's weird that I actually say I like slow motion, but it works for this movie. Some movies it doesn't work for. Some movies it's overdone. I.e. every Michael Bay movie, it gets repetitive too much. But I think it works for this. They say because he's a fast character. It needs that slow mo as he's watching everything go down.
To show how strong he is and how much of an unbeatable force he is. Be for the society,
or just just society in this movie, or in the future, possibly the League. Because I'm guessing the society is the more little unit that can go there, the one that you can easily get to go out,
and the one that's easily manipulated by Warner.
Whereas the League is the bigger top dogs. Yeah. That if the society can't deal with it, they'll have no choice but to send the League in. I'm guessing it's that kind of idea. It's like they're like a little mini team. Like if they can't deal with this threat, then we get the big dogs in. Like there's no point calling the big dogs if we can use these ones instead. Yeah. I'm guessing that's the kind of idea. Obviously this is the third version of Hawkman we've had. We had him in Smallville, and we had him in a Legend Tomorrow. Yeah, but I think this is the better version we've had so far. I think the actor.
Oh, definitely, he's the perfect Carter.
Aldous Hodge, who we covered when we did Invisible Man. He was the copper. Right. Obviously, he was spot on as Hawkman, and it's funny because remember me with Jason Momoa sneak up on Henry Cavill in the interview. Have you seen the new one? He does the Pierce Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan's at the premiere talking to someone, obviously like an interviewer, and we see he's behind him and sneaking up behind him, and he grabs him. Like, no, he stands up behind him and stands up, and Brosnan obviously senses him behind him, and he starts laughing and obviously start hugging it out, obviously bromancing it. But yeah, obviously, I'll see if I can find the picture of it. Significant. Obviously, he plays Hawkman in this, but he was Green Lantern in the animated Green Lantern movie. In the latest DC animated movie, he was Green Lantern.
Oh, cool.
Let's see if we can find it. Alden, Aldous Hodge, Black Adam premiere. Someone's got to post the picture of him fucking creeping up behind him. I'm guessing. I'll find it at some point. There's like a humorous picture of him. I watched the video, I think it was, but there's got to be like a fucking picture of him somewhere doing it. No, I can't find it. I'll have a look in a bit. But yeah, obviously there's like people are saying it's trying to recreate the Jason Momoa meme. So yeah, but yeah, he's definitely the perfect Hawkman. I think I love the music of this movie as well.
Oh, yeah,
it's very like ancient. I listened to the soundtrack yesterday, and it's like proper get you there. It's like I love the Black Adam theme. When it cuts to that bit, it's like really high pitched, like the tribal sort of like really tribal type of chanting. And it fully kicks in. It's like, and you got the Justice Society, who's like quite like modern sort of music, like more like, you know, cool people, even though the people hate them in this movie. But the whole soundtrack is spot on. And obviously, when you watch it in the movie, it suits the movie perfectly. So yeah, it's like wow. Obviously, another thing cameo-wise, which I didn't mention, which we mentioned, obviously you did mention a little bit, but not fully. The wizards. We got the wizard from Shazam.
Yes.
We got obviously the one from Guardians of the Galaxy, Jimon Hunsu. Obviously, he returns as the wizard from Shazam. Obviously, when they give Black Adam's son the power. Like, when I saw him, I was like, hey, it's that guy. And then, obviously, I love that as well, because obviously in the Shazam one, it's obviously kind of like a joke, like, oh, say my name. What? Say Shazam. Shazam? It's like kind of like a joke situation. Whereas in this, it's obviously serious, like this kid is about to die. And every single one's just like, Shazam! That was like so cool. And then we get them later on when they're taking the power away from, obviously, the new Black Adam. Obviously, when they're all like just blasting him with the powers, that's pretty cool. And I do like as well, we also get the Sabak version, the demon version of it. Like, say my name, like, Sabak. It's boom, boom. And like, that is like so cool that we get like both versions of. Like we get the good version, we get the bad version, the transformation. Yeah, I do like that.
The wizards.
I like they're going with
champion versus the demons
champion. I like that they're going with a lot of demons in this universe, because Shazam was demon heavy in the villains. So it's cool that we're getting demons as well in like continuation, because demons are pretty cool. What else we got? I've covered most of my notes. I've definitely covered most of my notes. I didn't do as many notes. I did bullet points like I usually do, rather than fucking paragraphs like I did for Halloween. But I do prefer this to Halloween, FYI. I just kind of was tired, so I just kind of bullet pointed it. What's something else I wanted to bring up? I can't fucking remember off the top of my head. I can't think. My mind's gone blank. Nah, it's gone.
Oh.
It's gone. You think of anything? Anything else you want to point out?
I will say it's definitely... They're definitely hitting the mark. They are...
Finally getting there.
Getting the right formula. I think they've worked out what works best, and it's to let the directors...
Make a movie. Let the director make the stars.
Yes.
Make a movie, because obviously The Rock probably had a lot more say in this than ever.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, didn't he rip his gate off to go to the set one day for this?
Makes sense.
When COVID, obviously, they filmed it during COVID. Pretty certain his gate was broke. I'm pretty certain he broke his gate. Like, fully fucking ripped his gate off the hinge to go drive to the set.
Yeah.
I swear that was like all over social media. Like, he destroyed his own gates to go to film Black Adam. That's how passionate he is about this movie. It's such a passion project for him.
You can see it.
Yeah. And obviously with letting the director do, obviously Matt Reeves got full say with the Batman. You get obviously he's spinning it off with all these spin-offs now. Obviously James Gunn got full control over the Suicide Squad. It felt like a James Gunn movie. I say this feels definitely like it's a passion project.
It's like the ones that everyone says the ones we don't like are always the films that people interfere with, like the Suicide Squad, like the first Suicide Squad. It was
a lot of studio interference.
Yeah, we'll scrap all the original like directors and editors. Let's get the people who edited the trailer. It was like, well, why didn't you just let the people making the film make the film?
In that one, obviously, David Ayer was trying to link it heavily towards Snyder's, obviously, universe, and they were just... Yeah, it still is, but we put in other stuff we want in there as well. Cut away all this Joker stuff, the stuff that could have basically built up Leto as a good Joker. I mean, look at the 5 seconds we had of him in fucking Snyder's Justice League, and we was like...
Surprisingly bad.
Why can't we get that fucking Joker in Suicide Squad? Like, it's so good. We was like praising it, which is... You know, unusual because Jared Leto. It's Jared Leto. Like, that was like one of the best like version. Like, he's like so good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, obviously, it's like let them make the movie they want to make. As I say, with this, obviously, the whole Henry Cavill thing, it was never going to happen at one point. Obviously, Rock wanted it to happen. Went to the old head of DC, obviously Walter Hamada, and that they told him no. He went to the ones that took over Warner Bros. They went and look what happened there. They fucking sacked the guy over in DC. Good riddance. Good riddance.
Makes sense, yeah. Because obviously, I think Dwayne's listening to what the people want.
Dwayne is the people's champion.
That's what I mean. He's the one that's like, well, everyone wants to see this.
He's the people's champion.
Why are you holding
Which
it?
Which is ironic, because,
that's what he was in the film.
That, and in wrestling, he's basically like the people's champ. I just love how he's gone from basically this, like, just like... entertainer in the wrestling business to this biggest star in Hollywood ever. Like, it's just like...
It's like...
Obviously, John Cena's slowly getting there, but I don't think he'll ever reach the level that The Rock's at.
No, because obviously I never did wrestling, so I didn't even know he was a wrestler until, like, everyone mentioned it. But, like, all I had experiences is him doing cameos in Disney Channel shows. Like, the one where he's in, like... He pops into, her, like, Hannah Montana, and they put makeup all over and stuff. He's got like earrings and...
Yeah, that came out in Family Guy as well, didn't he? When he's live action, when it's like Lois and Peter having sex, but because they can't show it, because to him, there's like the 2 figures fucking painting it on the table.
So he goes from like, being like a smaller actor.
And so he's smaller acting like these films that are a bit... Films that are kind of a bit known now. Obviously, you're like, I like Welcome to the Jungle, the Doom movie and stuff like that. Like, you know them, but they're not big movies. Obviously, The Mummy was probably his biggest movie, even if it was like, the shit CGI. Obviously, Scorpion King was obviously his first real adventure into it.
I remember there's that Disney Channel film, the Disney film.
Escape to Witch Mountain?
Game Plan.
Game Plan. He did Escape to Witch Mountain as well, the other Disney one. Did. But obviously, it was Fast and Furious that put him on the map. Though that franchise is overdone at the moment, and obviously he's finally coming to an end. That was the franchise that put him out there. That was the franchise when everyone was like, we need more Rock. And obviously, since then, he's been in some of the biggest films out there, and he's like one of them. I think, is he still the highest paid actor in Hollywood?
Probably.
I think he was. I know Johnny Depp was at one point. I think Robert Downey Jr. was at one point as well. I think The Rock might be at the moment. But yeah, it's just like let the people make the movie they want to make. So hopefully we get Black Adam too. I mean, we're definitely going to get it. I think apparently it's already in development. Or it's like already in early development. I mean, I feel like that's why they toned this down in terms, because obviously I know they cut a lot of gore out to get the 12A rating, well, the PG-13 rather than the R rating. I feel like that might have been because of Suicide Squad, because the Suicide Squad had a 15, kind of bombed the box office a little bit. So did the Harley Quinn movie, 15, kind of bombed the box office a bit. Obviously, the Harley Quinn you can let slide because COVID. It was quite close to that, so you can let that slide a bit. And Suicide Squad had a simultaneous release on streaming, so you can let that slide a bit as well. But I'm guessing they looked at it as like, okay, we need a 12-hour, we need to get to the wider audience. That's where we're going to make the money. Because a lot of families want to watch The Rock, so it makes sense getting that age rating down. I mean, I hope they do release like the R-rated cut as a special edition on the Blu-ray. That'd be really cool, like, just to see like, or like the deleted scenes of like, these are what we had to get rid of because of this. I mean, there is some like quite brutal kills in this, but I mean, I'm wondering what these other ones were like, how worse these other ones were for him to cut them.
Like, maybe, do we see that guy explode or something?
Be interesting to see. Anything else you want to say?
I think Pretty much.
I think we covered most of it,
we
didn't we?
covered the music, we covered the
Visuals, the action,
the
the
actual
acting,
characters
the
themselves,
characters, yeah.
and their relation, the bonds. It all works, yeah.
And so the emotion of the characters. I mean, I say
Oh yeah.
when Carter's obviously when fucking fate blocks him from getting to the temple, and the emotion on Carter is he's trying to break down.
He keeps on bashing it,
even though he knows he can't get through. He's smashing it. Obviously, he's telling the others to go around and try and find a way in as he's watching his friend basically go to die, basically. And obviously, in the process, he does because I mean, it was a great fucking sequence. Just to see basically him like stopping this like demon long enough to break Adam out. That scene when he's like in the prison, like talking to Adam, and he's just like doing his magic to break him out, and all the fucking guards like bashing him, shooting him. He's there running through, and then he gets out and finally into Shazam. And obviously, by the time he's got there, obviously, Fate's been like vaporized, which is a great sequence. So watch those them lot seeing him and be like, obviously, the rage and Hawkman to want to take him down was just like so fucking like perfect. And he then gets the helmet and creates obviously the multiple. So I mean, you watch Hawkman die, and it's like, wait, so his vision came true, but he said it doesn't come true. It's like, what? And then it's like the vision actually was
illusions,
and then Adam turns up.
Always been set up as well.
Yeah,
like in the first fight, Dr. Fate used an illusion on Adam. He's back in time.
Yeah,
his whole what the city used to be like.
Yeah.
And obviously he's more like, what the fuck? And then it's breaks the illusion. And they've done the multiplication. They showed that happened. They showed obviously the fact they can be multiple places at once. And I like how they used that.
I'm saying I like as well with that sequence. Obviously, then obviously when Adam comes in and starts fighting Sabak, obviously when he's dealing with him and he's like, "You're not a hero" or something like that, and Adam's like, "Yeah, I know, but he is." And obviously then Hawkman just comes in and just impales him to the point where obviously Adam can then go behind and just tear him to sunders. That was so good. And obviously I do love it then obviously when they're all like sort of celebrating, they all disappear, obviously leave, and obviously he's like, keep an eye on him. Obviously we don't want to basically have to come back here and deal with him again. And Atom Smash is like, we make a good team. He's like, no, we make a great team. And Atom Smash is like trying to really want to say something. I was like, don't push it, kid. Yeah, okay. But that was quite funny. And obviously then we get the sequence of the throne. When he's sat on it, it's like he's like a king now.
Yeah.
And he's smashing. He's like, doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
He's not a king. He's the protector of Kandar. So I do like that. It was like such a good way to end. And then you get the quote of, so obviously what you called now is it's like, well, obviously his actual name and Adam is a bit dated now. It's like, it's like, okay, what are you gonna call yourself then? He looks up at the camera and just comes up saying Black Adam on screen. It's like,
yeah,
perfect.
Yeah, obviously
Tef Adam, that's it. Yeah. Tef. I don't know saying jar for Tef.
In the end credit scene, obviously Amanda for dress. So Black Adam.
Yeah.
If you don't bring my prison, and this city will be your prison.
And if you step out of it,
yeah,
then I'll have to send someone to deal with you. And that's when Superman comes in and deals with the situation. But yeah, such a good movie. DC definitely going in the right direction right now.
Yeah, definitely.
So hopefully they stick to this direction. Hopefully, even though that dirtbag's in that Flash movie, hopefully it's still something. Because, you know, I mean, there's got a good director behind it. And how many times they've had reshoots trying to fix stuff. So they've had enough time to make it watchable. Well, I mean, you can let that one slide. If it's shit, you can let that one slide, but there's because of the fact that all the trouble too of it.
The main actor.
But obviously I think that's next. No, Shazam's next. So hopefully that's fucking good.
Oh, definitely.
And obviously they said dirtbag ones then, I think. And I think then it's Aquaman then, I think. Hopefully that's good. And so they're definitely going to. I think James Gunn's supposed to be doing another DC movie apparently. So it's definitely getting to. And obviously we've got fucking Peacemaker Series 2 at some point as well. So I mean we'll cover Series 1 I think in January. We'll try and do that then. But yeah, they're definitely going the right way. Definitely. Even though Marvel at the moment is kind of going like that at the moment. Like they have like a line and it goes up, goes back down.
Marvel's more
kind of
experimenting.
Yeah, and it's kind of backfired in terms of fans.
So they've done well. We've already done all this. the Infinity Saga's done. We want to start
Experiment.
trying more new stuff, different.
Whereas
vibes.
DC is like, well, I know you hate
We've already
everything
done-
we've already fucked up so many times.
Yeah.
Well, we'll try a basic thing here. Like that's why I think they're at this sort of level at the moment. Obviously above the anything Marvel this year.
Copying Marvel.
Like being their own thing.
More...
Obviously, the last real good Marvel thing really was Spider-Man. That was the top tier. Everything else has been not shit, but I mean, like, still really entertaining.
Yeah.
But it's been like either there or just there. You know what I mean? So it's been like that. Whereas, as I say, DC since Snyder's Justice League has been like that because it's just been nailing everything. Okay. Is there anything else you want to bring up?
That's it.
I think we covered everything. I mean, we've spoke a lot. We spoke for 50 minutes, gushing over this movie, saying fuck the critics because it's so fucking good.
It is really good.
Well done, Dwayne. Well done. Okay, let's give it a rating then. I honestly think they're at a really fucking high level at the moment. And I highly regard everything Snyder Justice League post Snyder's Justice League onwards.
Definitely.
It's definitely up there for me. It's like one of the movies of the year. Like, it's so fucking good. As I say, I prefer it to the last two Marvel movies by a decent little bit. So I honestly want to give it a 10 out of 10. It's a popcorn flick. Treat it like that. Don't try and look at it as like it's meant to be a masterpiece.
Oh yeah.
Look at it as what it's meant to be. An action visual spectacle. Well, that's what it's meant to be. And it nails that perfectly.
And we got the perfect line of him being the anti-hero. Like, he at least wants to protect people, but he's doing it by, well...
Deadpool way.
Yeah, he's like, well, it's safer if I kill them, or else they won't come back and hurt people more.
Yeah.
And you see the people of the country,
because they're that oppressed with this, like, intergang.
Yeah.
And the flying bikes. They're that oppressed by them that they kind of agree with anything that will save them. I mean, they're just a society have never been there before. So seeing this
it's like
protected from the past coming to save them, they're going to basically
it's like how the
mom
said how like their country got invaded. No one batted an eyelid until Adam popped up and it's like, oh, you want to fight him instead? You don't want to come
save
help us? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I agree. It's 10 out of 10. Honestly, I really loved it. Dwayne was perfect. I think the passion
behind it, yeah,
definitely. It's like, I do love Marvel movies, but they do seem to have lost some of the passion.
I think it's because they're trying to churn them out too quickly.
Yes.
I mean, look at this year alone. We've had Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, Doctor Strange. 4. Yeah. That's 5 projects in a year. Is it 5? Is it 5? Is there any more I'm thinking of? That's it, isn't it?
I think so.
Whereas DC, it's literally been the Batman, so Peacemaker, Batman, Black Adam.
Yeah.
It's been 2 movies and a TV show. They've done less, but they've done more.
I get Marvel. They've got a bigger team.
Yeah. They
got the bigger budget. They can do the bigger stuff and loads of stuff. But it's more of like they haven't got as much time to focus
anything post
on everything.
Endgame, they have sort of. They haven't like lost it totally, but there's not that full on passion as there was before.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like we want this to happen. If you're not gonna like it, then fuck you situation. Like... But whereas this is like The Rock, like he's making it for the fans. Like he's straight up doing this for them.
It feels like Rock himself is a fan.
Yeah,
and he's
a fan of Black Adam. That's the whole reason he's wanted to do Black Adam.
He's like, oh, I'm a fan. Just like
there's a lot of interviews of him talking about the fact that when he was a kid, he saw the comic book of basically like a non-white superhero on the front comic. Like that sort of situation, like got him wanting to make this movie happen. Like there is that. And so it's definitely the less they do, it seems to be.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Less, obviously, it seems to be better. I think what has helped with Marvel as well, it's quick succession is out. Obviously, you had Moon Knight in end of March, April. As soon as that finished, Doctor Strange was out.
Yeah.
Started a few weeks later, Miss Marvel came out. When that finished, 4 was out. a few weeks later, She-Hulk
Mhm.
was out. Like it was that quick. It was like within like from March to October. Obviously, you had these 5 things already out.
Mhm.
Within 7 months, like half a year, basically, if you counted properly, about half a year, they had like 5 projects already released. We're Off by Night as well. Obviously, that's the only one. Personally, I might put over this.
Oh yeah, because
That
there's a lot more people passionate about
yeah,
it.
it felt different. It felt like yes, they experimented, but
Mhm.
it's an experiment that worked. Like
Yeah.
that's the only one that I might just tip over this slightly. But that's because the horror nerd in me loved the practical side of that and the visual side of it. But yeah, obviously that's 6 projects then. Within half a year, they covered half. It's essentially a project a month, essentially near enough. Whereas DC, it's literally what was it March? January was Peacemaker. March was Batman. So they're
Yeah.
quite quick succession. Obviously, July was meant to be Black Adam, but it never happened. So instead, July was the DC Super Pets one. So a little fun little, way
Yeah.
to ease yourself before Black Adam. And in October was Black Adam. So they put out 4, but they put out 3 live action ones that 3 live action projects across. They say what's from January. It's over 10 months. 3 projects over 10 months, whereas Marvel did 6 over essentially 6 months. Like you can see the difference there. They're churning them out too quick. I feel like if they slow down a bit, even if there's 6 projects within a year, but they spread them out. So you got something coming out in February, then May, then like a couple, like at least 2 or so months between each of them. Not like it's finished, next one's out. They did the same last year, kind of. So you had obviously WandaVision in February. By the point that finished, Falcon and Soldier instantly came out. By the point that finished, you had a little break. Then I think Loki came out. At the same time Loki was out, Black Widow came out. Then like 2 months, like a month and a little bit later, not even that probably, Shang-Chi was out. Again, around that point you had What If going on as well. Then in the obviously November we had both Hawkeye and we both had the Eternals. And then December we had fucking Spider-Man.
I think
that was the only exception of how that Spider-Man and Shang-Chi were the only ones that stood out the most.
I think for me though, like I can excuse that year because it's
the backlog.
Yeah,
there's a backlog.
It's all of them starting like, oh, we've got Disney Plus now. We want to do the shows. Let's create a bunch of shows.
Yeah, I understand. I do let 2021 slide a bit because there's the backlog.
Yes.
But I feel like they definitely should slow down. Like even if it's just like 4 projects a year, that's fine. Just leave it at that. Like 2 movies and 2 TV shows, and spread it out. Move it, a TV show, then the movie, TV show, then the movie.
It's like,
and even if you did these special presentation ones, okay, throw them in somewhere. But that's not too bad.
Yeah.
Because as proved We're Up by Night, it's a standout. It's something different. I mean, as I said, they're trying to look at turning TV shows into that. There's rumours they might do Nova into one. So like that'd be pretty cool. It's just that there's too much at once at the moment, I think, and it's either too much of the same, or it's too experimental. And people are letting, obviously, as I said with She-Hulk, it's kind of a bit too experimental. That's why a lot of people.
Yeah.
It wasn't generic Marvel, but I feel like if it was generic Marvel, they'd still be pissed off.
I think if it's generic Marvel, it wouldn't have been as good. I don't think it would have worked.
I think it probably still would have been reviewed pretty well.
Yeah.
But it obviously probably wouldn't have been as negative looked at from audience at least. But whereas obviously critics looked at it different because it was experimental, it was something different.
Yeah, and it's the whole.
It probably would have been
comic.
It probably literally would have been the other way around. But yeah, it's just like as you say, there's the passion's not fully there. I mean, they need to let some directors just make the movie they want to make. I feel like Sam Raimi didn't fully make the movie he wanted to make with Doctor Strange. Obviously, that's why Scott Derrickson dropped out, because he didn't see eye to eye with the movie he wanted to make. That's why he didn't do Multiverse of Madness. And look what happened there. He dropped out, did the Black Phone with Ethan Hawke, and that's a masterpiece. Like he dropped out and went on to do a movie of his own that he wanted to make properly based on like a short story where obviously he'd have a bit more say of how it would run, and it worked. So I feel like I feel like some projects they need to let them like fully, not fully. Like sometimes I think maybe stepping a bit.
Yeah.
I feel like that's why a lot of people hated Falling Thunder.
Yeah.
I feel like obviously it was too Taika Waititi. Like
Ragnarok
was Taika, but it wasn't full Taika.
Yes, it was.
It was like a reasonable amount, but with Love and Thunder, it went full batshit crazy. Taika Waititi.
Fucking Thor talking to his hammer.
Yeah, it went full like
perfect.
him. So, where I think people didn't like that. They liked partial Taika.
Yeah.
So I feel like they should let them have like so much of a say. And obviously, if you're looking at it as like, okay, I feel like you're pushing a bit too much here, then we'll just draw it back to that line.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like the reasonable ground of how to do it. Like you need to look at it as, okay, are the fans gonna like it? So obviously, critics you can let fucking slide. So I don't think really. I think if it gets a good critical score, they're happy. But it's the fans they look at the most because they're the ones that buy the tickets to go watch these movies. So I feel like they need to obviously look at that. I mean, we still got one more Marvel movie to come out.
Oh yeah,
Black Panther.
True.
So that's 7 projects within a year. So I think they need to obviously just look at. Okay, is this what fans are basically going to pay to see? Are we basically like with Spider-Man? Fans want to pay to see Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, all the cast from the old ones back.
Yeah,
they don't want to pay to see anything else but that.
They want William Dafoe
with his big penis. They want to pay to see that, so we'll make that. So I feel like that's what they sort of need to look at sometimes is what the okay. They say critics, if you get a good nod off them, that's great. That's great. You could get an Oscar nod or some bullshit award nod, but you need to look at the people that are actually like helping you basically make your money back. So I mean, if Spider-Man No Way Home didn't have all that in it, would it have made as much money as it did?
No.
That's what you need to look at. It's just like there's just a lot of things that studios need to look at when doing these sort of things, and half it is literally the fan response.
It's like Sonic. People are like, oh, we didn't like
fans backlash on the design. They went back, redesigned it. Fans loved the new design. Fans have actually really enjoyed the new movies. They've enjoyed them that much that they're making a Knuckles TV show. They're doing a Sonic 3 movie with Shadow involved. Like that's how much they loved it.
And if they stuck to their guns, wouldn't have been well received, and probably wouldn't have had all this success.
I say they need to show fans some aspect of it and see the response. And if fans are giving like a really good, actually that looks pretty good, that's when you go, okay, we'll push heavily more for that rather than else. I don't know what the fan response to Fall on Fun trailers was. I really enjoyed the trailers for it, and that's what sold the movie for me was the trailers. I can't remember the response from the fans. If they then again, fans the trailers show what fans would like, and then the actual movie adds extra things that fans won't like. So I don't know. It's hard to please some people,
definitely.
But obviously, sometimes you do need to look at obviously making a movie that is going to work for at least the people buying the tickets.
Like this one.
This one was made for the people that are going to buy the tickets, i.e. the audience score.
The Black Adam fans.
I.e. the audience score obviously over 88, 89%. That shows it was made more for the audience than the critics. Like The Rock doesn't give a shit. He wants the audience to love his movie. That's what he did. So it's quite you kind of need to look at. We'll jab it on a bit then. We've got that into. We're getting into some conversation topics here. Okay. So that gives Black Adam the chat cave overall rating of 10 out of 10. Okay, MVP. I want to say Pierce Brosnan. As Dr. Fate. That it was just so good. I mean, there's no point getting into full detail again because we've already done it on here.
Yeah.
It was just perfect. Every action scene with him was spot on. His death was perfect. It was just so well played. It was quite humorous as well at times, but it was also quite serious. So
it's like
it was a perfect blend.
It's like obviously with Doctor Strange, he knew the fate of Tony the entire time, but sort of manipulated it. Whereas this one, he seemed like he knew the fate of his death. He knew he was going to die because that's the only way to save his friend.
Well, I'll say at first he knew Carter was going to die.
Yeah.
And then he saw another future.
A way to keep Carter alive.
Yeah. Obviously, he went through all the futures to find that future where Carter survives. But in the process, he must die, which he's fine with.
Yeah, he sacrificed himself.
He's lived long enough and happy enough. I mean, he spoke about the fact that he was in one of the world wars. He saw, obviously, the planes going over, and obviously, he wasn't happy. He was sad because he knew they were going to die. Like, he's lived that long. So this is his perfect death to save his friend.
Yeah.
And to bring you the Black Adam.
And you see him accepting that, oh yeah,
it's over.
I'm going to die. And you know what? I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
For once, I am not seeing...
I'm at peace.
Yeah, I'm not seeing all the future. I'm peaceful now.
There's no future ahead.
Yeah.
This is it. Yeah. Okay, runner-up. You have to be The Rock.
Definitely.
The Black Adam.
His passion helps.
His passion helps sell this movie, and he's definitely a standout to this. Obviously, I think Carter was very close. I did love Hawkman's performance in this.
Brilliant. Hawkman.
He's Hawkjet.
I want to see him and Hawkgirl.
Oh yes,
definitely.
His little Hawkjet. Yeah, but yeah, Black Adam. Dwayne The Rock Johnson definitely gets the runner up on this one. Okay, favorite moment.
Oh.
Obviously, I did love the death of Dr. Fate, but I'm gonna get, and obviously I did also love the first appearance of Black Adam at the start, but I'm gonna give it to the old Adam. But I love the birth of Black Adam at the end when he gets the cape, when he's got the bit more cleaner suits. That bit at the end when he first comes back after obviously saying Shazam again.
Yeah, well, it's like a mix of his suit and his son's cuffs and stuff.
That version, that sequence is just spot on for me. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna say the birth of Black Adam is the one I choose.
I will go with Dr. Fate in dying because the way he does it, it's genius. It's visually amazing, and he's an amazing character. And I do want to see more of him, even though he's dead now. The character's dead.
The legacy can carry on.
Either a pilot of the prequel of it, maybe show him becoming Dr. Fate, and seeing him with Carter. He was brilliant. I do think his death was definitely very, very impactful. I'm like, oh, I liked him.
Yeah, same. I was like, please work around it. Please work around it. Vaporizes. Shit.
I think at least I will definitely see more of him.
Yeah.
Even if it's just in the helmet, Jarvis.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely probably get some more of him. If the audience have responded like we have to him, I definitely think there's going to be some more. Okay. So my question is, what other sort of not big DC character would you like to see get their own sort of movie?
Oh.
So obviously Black Adam is not massive. So what other one would you like to see get for one? Not technically just that sort of thing. Actually, I'm gonna reword that. So what other DC villainous is a villain?
Yeah, he's a villain.
But villainous character we'd like to get their own movie. I'm gonna straight up. I'm gonna say Deathstroke for me.
Yeah.
Because obviously we was gonna get Deathstroke in obviously the Batman solo film with Ben Affleck. It never happened. There was also gonna be a Deathstroke movie at one point. I swear I read somewhere Gareth Edwards was gonna make one. The guy who did Rogue One and Godzilla. He was gonna do a Deathstroke movie. It never happened. He was gonna be the guy who was in Justice League. That version of him. So I kind of want to see. I would love to see a Deathstroke movie with Slade becoming obviously Deathstroke.
That'd be cool. And I think the other thing I could think of would be to see I would love entire proper cinematic film about Trigon and stuff.
Oh right,
I mean Raven. Yeah. We've obviously got in Titans. Yeah, but it would be nice to see the more.
So they're going the demon path, so it makes sense that Trigons is the most one of the powerfulest demons out there. So it would make sense.
He's like the Thanos of demons.
Yeah.
You want to see him. I'd like to see at least that side of it. It won't just be heavily on just him.
Be more like a Raven movie.
Film.
This with Trigon as the antagonist.
Yeah, because we see her in Titans, and she's definitely really.
Yeah.
The concept of Raven is a good idea. You can go for that more darker side because she's a demon, like a demon hybrid. So you can have that little darker side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I'd love to see that.
Okay. The fuck's that dog doing downstairs? I can hear tap tap tap. Okay. See. Put your answers to the question there in the comments below, and put your ratings for Black Adam in the comments below as well. See what you thought of it. And yeah, obviously you can check out the podcast on your usual podcasting platforms. And obviously on Friday, we'll be doing a quiz for the podcast in our usual podcast slot before we're going back to our normal once a week. Because we might as well do this now. It's fresh in our minds. First reaction to it. It makes sense. So straight off the bat. Okay, yes. We hope you enjoyed, and we shall see you next time.
Bye.